Thanks, Ian. Ange, could you give us a squad update, please?
Yeah, pretty quick. Everyone's good. No issues from the weekend, and everyone fit and available, apart from Benji Segrist, but we expect him to join full training on Monday. But everyone else is ready to go.
Just on the weekend, obviously a big result for everyone at the club. I just wonder what it means for guys that have recently joined the squad, how big it is for them to get a winner's medal early into their Celtic careers.
Yeah, look, it's I guess it's important and significant, but I don't think just because you've won something before it diminishes the impact that it can have to win it again. And I think for the whole group, irrespective of it was their first or I don't know how many Callum's got, but whatever that number is, they finished that game with a real drive and desire to go there again and do it again. I think it should fuel everybody. I don't think, as I said, whether it's your first time up there, that you should be more sort of motivated or get more belief out of it. I think every time you're there, you want to be at your best and you want to make sure that, in every big game of consequence that you come out a winner. And, I think the whole group would have gained a great deal out of that game.
Yeah. Hi, Ange. First of all, congratulations for Sunday. I just want to ask you about how it's been this week. You spoke about the importance of allowing your players to enjoy it. Obviously, otherwise, why are they doing what they're doing? But you yourself, you described it as a bit of relief. Have you, as manager, allowed yourself to enjoy it yet? Have you had that chance because the games are so quick coming round?
Yeah, no, I did. I mean, I enjoyed Sunday. I enjoyed the day. I enjoyed our performance. I enjoyed the aftermath of it. You're right. As I said, after the game, you do get relief because you carry that weight of responsibility for everyone involved, and you want the right outcome because of that. But after that, I enjoyed the night. It was a quiet night, but for me, I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed how watching other people enjoy it, whether that was our supporters or people who were involved with the football club. And we had Monday off, which allowed me sort of some family time and reflection, which was great. And I think most of the lads enjoyed, having a bit of a break from everything. And we're back in the building Tuesday and preparing for Sunday's game. So it's been a normal week apart from that.
And you've obviously praised your players numerous times about their qualities in terms of going again, getting back in and working hard for the next one. I guess in terms of even sharpening that even further, there's no bigger motivation, I guess, than the one team that have beat you guys domestically this season to be the fixture up next to sharpen the minds to go again.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter who the next game was. They came back in on Tuesday ready to go, and our training this week's been super competitive because, the one thing that a game like last weekend leaves you with is they all want to be a part of it, and they don't want to miss out next time, and they don't want to miss out on being part of something that could give them some special time. So irrespective of who we're playing this weekend, I had no doubt the lads have come back motivated, and they have. Like I said, our training's been top notch and very, very competitive, and the boys will be ready for Sunday.
Hi, Ange. I just wonder what you've made of St Mirren as sort of competitors this season, because obviously they beat you earlier in the campaign. You've beaten them by a 4-goal margin twice at home, although Stephen Robinson was saying yesterday he was still quite happy with their performances in those games. I just wonder how you've sort of viewed the three as a whole.
Yeah, look, I think they've had a really strong season. You can see that, with where they are, their position on the table, and they've got really strong home form, which I think has given them, the edge over other sides. And they're pretty consistent in the way they play and the way they set up, and because of that, I think the players are really comfortable with the system they play. And like every other game for us, it still comes down to the way we deal with the challenge before us, and come Sunday we'll be ready for that.
We're speaking to Rio Hatate there after his Player of the Month award. He talks a lot about his constant want to improve. You've mentioned the fact that he's straight in at Gavin Strachan after every game wanting to improve. We see his quality on the pitch as well. As when you total all that up, is he a real dream to work with as a manager?
Yeah, look, he is very determined to be the best footballer he can be. He's not on his own though. Like I think this whole group, has those characteristics, and I think that helps somebody like Rio because he's come into an environment that suits that mindset. Sometimes you can have that mindset, but go into an environment that doesn't allow that to nourish. But here, he's walked into an environment where he's got like-minded people around him who also want to be the best they can be, who are very ambitious. The group collectively is ambitious. The coaching staff's ambitious, and so I think for guys like Rio, then they can thrive within that. And I think it's fair to say, as soon as he came in last year in January, he made an impact straight away. But there was no doubt that first 6 months was going to be tough for him coming off a J-League season. But this year, after a good pre-season for him, he's been really strong all year, and he's obviously found another level, I think, since probably the World Cup break. And my belief, there's another couple of levels in him at least. And knowing Rayo, his mindset, he'll definitely get there.
And just sticking with Rio, he's obviously, I think you mentioned to him back in maybe the World Cup that if he's got one area to improve it, maybe to increase his numbers in the final third, the assists and goals. He's certainly done that in recent months. How from your perspective, how is he going about doing that?
Again, just I think constantly working at his game, on aspects of his game that he thinks he needs to, and the feedback we give him. So whatever that feedback is, then he'll take that on board and go and work it in a training. I mean, there's no magic formulas here. It's not about flicking a switch. It's just hard work, and he's prepared to put that hard work in, and also understand and receive the feedback in the right way. Sometimes with players, you give them the feedback and they don't really address the areas they need to address because sometimes it's easier to fall back on what you're already good at. But he's constantly looking at what gaps that there may be in his game, and then our role is to give him the right kind of feedback to go and work at it. And he goes and works at it. He just works really hard at it and has a real focus around it. And that's why I think whatever level he reaches by the end of this year, he'll come back pre-season next year, looking to take his game to the next level, and our role within that is to guide him in the right way.
Can I just ask you about another player, Mikey Johnston? He seems to be in line for a Republic of Ireland call-up. That good news for him, and do you think he can come back and contribute at the end of his loan spell as well?
I mean, look, in terms of his, international football, obviously, Mikey's, that's the decision he's made kind of, I'm sure he's given that plenty of thought with the people around him. And, I think international football's a fantastic part of a footballer's career. It gives you new experiences, different experiences, allows you maybe to take the game to another level as well because of, the different kind of context international football brings. And, hopefully for him that gives him all those things that he'll be looking for in his career. In terms of beyond that, he's playing. He's playing more regularly and we needed him to play more football, and he's doing that. And at the end of the year, we'll assess all that and decide about what the best thing is for his future.
Another thing that's clear in your vision.
I didn't drink the Iron Brew, by the way. It's a terrible drink. Could have come here with a couple of beers, but no.
Another thing that's clear in your vision is focus on the task at hand and nothing else. And if anything, the week that led up to the cup final showed that football is the focus rather than the furore that surrounds the rivalry. Is that level of player focus something that you aim to cultivate in a group, or is it something you're able to recognise in a player when recruiting?
A little bit of both. I think, you kind of hopefully, as I keep saying, when you bring in footballers into the club, you never lose sight of the fact that they're people first and sort of, so what kind of people are they? Will they fit the environment? You're not making a judgment call whether they're a good or bad person, because for all of us, we're all human beings. We all, make mistakes. We all do things, some things well, others not. But, is the character and the personality going to fit into what you've already got existing here? And, what we've tried to create is an environment where there is a real focus on, what's important for us and for us as a group every week. What's important, knowing the expectations of this football club is that whatever the next game is, that you're at your best. You can't be anything less than that. So, I think from the moment guys walk in here, they understand that they don't look too far ahead. I think, and hopefully I've identified the kind of characters and personalities that fit into that. Hopefully, never seamlessly, because like I said, they've all got different upbringings, different personalities, but within the broader context that they understand and can thrive in that sort of environment. And I just think it's too easy to throw it away as a cliche and say you take it game by game, week by week. I think people use it as a throwaway line, but the reality is that's what you need to do. That what gives you success at a football club like this, because the one thing you don't want to do at this football club is be at anything less than your best and not deliver and say, well, you know what, we've got a big game next week, so I was focused on that. That's not going to work here if you want to be successful. And that's something that we talk about constantly. And to be fair, the players drive themselves now.
Hi, Ange. A lot of people talk about, the pressure of playing for or managing a club like Celtic because of the size of the support or the expectations of the fans. But obviously, over the last 2 years, the fans have been like a hugely positive force, even before success was delivered, and kind of contributing to everything that's happened. From your perspective, is it less about dealing with pressure and more about, actively engaging with the fans and building a synergy and bringing them along for the journey? And is that something you emphasise to the players as you're going along here? Or is the relationship we see between you guys and the support something that's more of a kind of natural byproduct of the way you guys go about your business anyway?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think you can't, again, I'm not one to force these kind of things. I wasn't going to. I think people figured out pretty quickly I wasn't going to tell our supporters how they should feel about us and our performances, and I certainly don't tell the players how they should feel about our support. You're kind of the perfect sort of scenario is that, as you said, there's a synergy there that both are working as one and understand. And from my perspective, I think I had the clearest indications really early on that the supporters, whilst are very demanding in terms of the success, they also are also pretty clear about what they want to see when their football team plays. And I think they saw that fairly early on in my tenure, albeit all being that the results weren't always there, but just the way we were trying to play our football. And I think the players that I brought to the club, I think there was certainly an acknowledgement from the supporters that okay, we'll give you a little bit of time for results, but at least we can see that what you're saying, you're endeavouring to build. And obviously then my role after that was, well, I've got to bring the results as well. And I think from there it's grown, and you can see that in the way as the players respond to our supporters and the way the supporters respond to the players. And I think that the game day experience now is one of, everyone sort of, rowing the same way, whether things are going really well for us on the field or maybe it's a little bit of a period in the game where it might be a grind. You get the sense that the supporters and the players are really sort of understanding that, if we stick to the things that are important to us, we'll find our way through. And I think you sense that on Sunday, that even through the sort of the patch where we had to grind things out, we did that, and our supporters were right behind us through that time. And I think like I said, that sort of thing needs to happen naturally, and I think it happens naturally when there's an alignment there of the vision that we have as a football club and the vision our supporters have for us.
Thanks. You actually touched on something there that I wanted to ask you about, because you spoke a little last week about giving the players responsibility and putting faith in them, to make, perhaps in-game adjustments based on game conditions, etc., because they're the people out there on the pitch who can see and almost feel the need to do that. Do you think this team's awareness and ability to do that is something that's getting stronger over time? And just generally, where do you think this team are at the moment in terms of what people might call game management, and especially in these super competitive games on the massive occasions? Is this something we can expect this team to get even better at, as they build more experience together as a unit?
Well, yeah, I mean, they have to, because as I said, for me, the game is about the players. my role and the staff's role is to try and prepare them as best we can during the week and give them as much information. But once the game starts, it's really down to them. And I think if you look at their performances over the last 18 months and their ability to play in the big games, particularly domestically, then you can see that they are growing and sort of taking more and more responsibility out there. But that doesn't mean you get to a point where that they make all the decisions out there in terms of the way we play, because ultimately we still got to have a structure that we rely on. So like I said, for me on the weekend, they felt the need to adjust the way we played for a period of time, and they have that sort of autonomy for me to do that. My role then is to give them the feedback that, could we have even done things even better than that? And they get that feedback, and hopefully that feedback then allows them to make even better decisions next time. But as I said, my role and the staff's role is to give them as many tools out there that when they need to make decisions, they got the answers in their toolkit, rather than sort of looking for us for answers in the heat of the battle.